Alright guys, so today I kind of want to do a video that I don't normally do, and that's on reviewing an actual device. And today I want to really talk about the Ally, which is the kind of handheld device that is out now. And if you can't see, I'm going to show it there. Oh, there's my screen. That's my screen on my PC. Ah, reflection! But for real, this is a really cool device that I'm going to kind of splice in some video footage that I took and kind of talk about why this little device right here. And I want to kind of talk about this device in a big way because this has kind of got me back into gaming as someone who is about 35 years old. Gaming has kind of shifted for me in terms of like how I play games, or when I play games, or if I have time to play games. Especially with a kid, it's been pretty hard. And so the Ally I got during early December, I believe, and yeah, it got me really back into gaming. I play way more. My goal was to play 20 games this month and beat them. 20 games this year and beat them. And I think I'm at like 18 now that I've beaten. And it's only 3 months in. So I'm really, really into gaming again. It's not my only hobby, as you can tell. Comics are still my big one. But it is a hobby that I kind of miss really enjoying. And I think it's because of time constraint. As you get older, you have less time. You're working more. You get a family. You get kids. And this has kind of been the bridge or the gap of where I can play this on the limited free time that I have. So anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about why you might want to pick up an Ally if you're, 30, 40, 50, 60. You have limited time, whether it's family, whether it's work, whether it's traveling, whatever the reason is, but you want to get back into gaming, and this device might be the one for you. And I'm also going to compare it to the Steam Deck, another device that I bought, mostly because I've been enjoying the Ally so much. I wanted two devices so that way my wife can also enjoy gaming next to me, and talk about why I prefer, which one I prefer, and why I think both of them are very valuable to someone like myself, or maybe many other out there. So let's get right into it. So as you can see with the Ally, one thing I really want to point out here is that you can have an entire library of games. Pretty much the Ally does well with Steam games, all Steam games, because it is a window-based operating system, making it that you pretty much have a PC in your hand. And so every game that's on Steam, almost every game that's not mouse and keyboard, you pretty much can play on here. Even those you can play on here sometimes, depending if the touchscreen is decent. But overall, this is mostly made for games that use controllers, and that is a wide amount of games. So as you can see, my list of tons of games here, I would say 98% of them I can play on my Ally, which is really cool, really awesome, very easy to do, and you can just jump right in once you buy the game. That's it. You just click it, it opens, and it plays. Now, I have the Ally Non-Extreme Edition. So there's two versions at the time of this recording. There's the Ally Extreme Z1 Edition. I think it's Z1 or Z. That is a higher end Ally that usually goes for $6.99, so $700. Or you can get it on sale usually for $5.99. Sometimes open box for $500 or $4.99. I have the non-extreme version, which is $100 cheaper, so it is normally $5.99. You can get it on sale for $3.99. So either version to me is great. My friend has the extreme version. He is much more of a hardcore gamer. He likes to max things out in games. That is the version you should get. If you just want to play some games and you don't really care about it being super high-end, and I'm going to be honest, probably playing games that are from mostly last generation, maybe some games from this generation that aren't super heavy on hardware, then you can get the non-extreme version. If you can get the extreme version for a good price, like $500, I'd say that's definitely worth getting over the non-extreme. However, if you want to save $200, and I don't know about you all, but that mortgage payment ain't cheap, then the non-extreme version is a very valuable device for multiple reasons. So as you can see, I'm kind of showcasing the games here, and one of the things I love about this game is you can play a wide range from games. So I'm playing games from friggin' 1991 with Mega Man X, and these games flow really nice, they work really well, and they're very low on the system in terms of like using its power. And so you can play these games pretty much on silent mode. So the Ally basically gives you 3 modes that you can play on: silent, performance, and turbo. And really, I would have to say most of the time, if you're playing any game that's 2D or not very hard on the system, you can play this on silent, and that's great. Otherwise, performance pretty much plays any game I want, even like something from last generation like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It runs fine on that. Now, if I want to really have all these flashy effects and everything, look kind of flawless and it never really frame rate drops, then I'll play on Turbo. And Turbo is very playable, though the difference between the three, if you play Silent, Performance, Turbo and all that, is that it uses more battery because obviously it uses more of the system and it goes faster. Now, I will say the battery life is probably the big thing you hear about the most about these handhelds. They're not great. The Ally probably lasts on a lower end game, something like Trails in the Sky the Third or something like that, probably would last a good 2 to 4 hours. Most times I get closer to 3-4 hours. If I'm playing something that is in the mid-range, I would say something like Castlevania, Shadow of whatever, Lords of Shadows. I got that for about 2 hours, maybe 2.5. And then if I play something like Kakarot, it's usually close to about 1.5 hours. Now that doesn't seem long because it's not that long. However, these games are meant to be played throughout short bursts of periods, 30 minutes, an hour maybe, and then you just do what everybody else does. You plug it in. Once it's charged, you can just get right back into it. You can also just play these games charged, similar to a laptop. Just hook it up to an outlet next to you and start playing. Now, the real thing that I kind of wanted to talk about here, my favorite features, are the Xbox and the Chiaki, I think that's how we say it. There's these two apps that work really well for this. So the Xbox app is obviously the official Microsoft Xbox app. Very easy to use. You download it, you put in your username, you get to start playing some really fucking cool games on Game Pass. Also, you can download those games onto the system to play, or you can just stream it from, you just put it right on there. Very easy to do. Now, what's really cool about this is that there's also remote options. So as you guys know, I'm still a gamer at heart, and so of course I have every fucking system on the face of this earth. So I have a PlayStation 5, I have an Xbox. One of my favorite features when I'm at home is just simply clicking that little remote button on the bottom right there. Boop, that little system. And it connects me right to my Xbox. So as you can see, I jump right into my Xbox. I got all these different games. There's a lot of games to choose from. You can download the games onto your Xbox, which I would definitely recommend, as obviously the Series X is a much stronger system than the Ally non-extreme edition, and simply just remote play. And if you have decent internet, which I do, then it's very, very, very easy to play these games, and they look really fucking good. I play Persona 3 all the time on this Reloaded, and it looked great. Very, very few times did it ever drop in loading or, you know, catching up. And I'm talking about, my house is pretty big, and I'm playing on the all the way on the other side of my house upstairs. I do have Wi-Fi mesh, so that makes it easier, but very few drops. If I'm playing this game in my nerd room or downstairs next to the router, there's no drops. So this is really cool for someone like me who has a wonderful, beautiful daughter who wants to watch Bluey. And I don't want to watch Bluey, I want to play my game. So this is the perfect device that you could have in your hand, remotely playing your Xbox, and she can watch Bluey. Now, what happens if your daughter wants to play Bluey the game? Well, guess what? Xbox is wonderful because they put Bluey right on the fucking Game Pass. Thank you, Microsoft. You saved me 40, 50 bucks. Love ya. So my daughter boots up Bluey. She's loved playing it. I get to boot up Chiaki. Chiaki is the app for remote play for the PlayStation 5. And bloop, we are in it. I turn it on. Click, click, boom, boom, boom. And as you can see, I am playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So my daughter gets to sit there with her Xbox controller. It's beautiful, it's pink, and she loves it. Playing Bluey. I sit there with my Ally, kicking ass with Cloud or Red or Barrett, just whooping ass. This is what I love. This is what I always dreamed of. Basically playing my system all everywhere, anywhere, at any time, and it runs flawlessly. Barely any hiccups, barely any stutters. Sound is great. I mean, it's phenomenal that this can actually happen in my... I never thought it would in my generation. I thought I would be dead, but I'm glad I'm not, because this is great. So now that you've seen the footage, now I'm talking about it, you're like, huh, that sounds pretty good. Now, again, this is a luxury device. This is not a needed device, but it actually is a pretty good substitute for people who don't want to buy a heavy-ended PC. It really depends. If you want to play the newest games at the highest settings, well, nothing's going to be a PC that you put a lot of money and a lot of work into. Someone like me, I love playing new games, but I don't need it to be the fanciest, the nicest, the best graphics. I mean, I have a pretty powerhouse PC right now I bought, but I really just kind of prefer laying down and playing my games before bed, or playing when my daughter's playing her games or watching her shows. So these devices are great. Now, the final thing I want to really talk about here, and hopefully I'm addressing a lot of what I'm talking about in terms of why I love these devices, just the portability, the way they can run, the streaming, the remote play, all of that is wonderful. The games, as you can see, I've been showing you clips of, work nice. They look good, they play good. I have really no issues. There's not been a game that I played that really I suffered any issues with. So you're wondering, you're interested in these, you're a little, wondering, where do I spend my money? Because these aren't cheap devices. There's the Legion Go, which is the one device that I decided I'm not as interested in. Not that it's bad, I've heard a lot of good things, but it's really the Legion Go and the Ally are very comparable. So I got the Ally first, and I'm glad I did. It was a cheaper ended. I do stream more. I do remote more. I remote from my PC, which is a strong PC. I remote from my PlayStation 5. I remote from my Xbox. I Game Pass, all of that stuff. So that was the main reason I got the Ally non-Extreme Edition. Now I wanted to really, last month I was thinking I want to get the Steam device because of the OLED. I love OLED screens, and I picked it up. I've been playing it for about a week now, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So the big difference is this is, official Steam device. So it uses the Steam as its main operating system. It's a little blurry there, I'm sorry. Now, what the big thing is that it uses Linux. I fucking hate Linux. I've hated Linux since I was a child, and I really fucking still hate it. It's just a hassle to do stuff. Out of the two operating systems, if I'm going to do mods, if I'm going to add voices to games that don't have voices with a patch, if I'm going to do anything like that, anything with streaming, anything with adding apps, anything to make it easier in life, I'm using the Ally. It's a Windows operating system, very simple. Put this in perspective, I downloaded Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. You can add these voice mods. On the Steam Deck, I spent about 35-40 minutes trying to get it to work, and I still can't figure it out 100%. On my Ally, 2 minutes. Download, unzip, put it in the file, boom. It's just easier. It's easier. So, saying that, what's easier out of the box? Well, the one negative that on the Ally is that it took me about half a day to get this shit set up. The software is CrateBox, which isn't my favorite. But once I got set up, I haven't had barely any issues with this device. It has been great. But it does take a while to get set up. You will need at least a few hours when you open it up to download all the updates, get it up to date, make sure it's working good, and then you should be smooth sailing from there. Steam Deck, for the easiness of it, it is beautiful. You turn it on, you log into Steam, you're playing games. That's it. I swear to God, it's a fucking Xbox or PlayStation. You turn it on, it's boop-a-da-boops, So if you are mostly getting it for just like simply coming in and playing Steam games, the Steam Deck is great. I mean, this OLED screen, I wish I took some footage now, is beautiful. But man, it is just so beautiful. You can't see it on my fucking camera because it's, a cam. But anyway, it's very easy to just download the game and play. If that's mostly what you're doing it for, it works great. I am really enjoying that factor of it. That is one of the best parts about it. But which one should you get? Well, if you're not into, like I said, the biggest or fanciest games, you can get the non-extreme Ally. It's just a little bit weaker than, I believe, the Steam Deck. Again, I'm not 100% with the stats here, but how it goes from what I've read online, it's the Ally non-extreme. It's a little bit weaker than the Steam OLED. Both of them are pretty good devices. I do get to play a lot of the majority of games I play, And then the Ally Extreme is the one that, the Z, is the one that most people would get if you want to play higher end games. I've heard people can play something like Cyberpunk almost flawlessly on it on high end settings. Now you can play Cyberpunk on OLED. Have played it. It looks good, but definitely not the high end settings that you can get on like a powerhouse PC or something. But on the Ally Extreme, you can play it. I don't know if it's perfect. I haven't played it myself, but I've heard a lot of good reports. So anyway, you're sitting there, you're wondering, okay, I like your video, but what should I buy? Well, I can't tell you exactly what to buy. The factors I'm going to do is this. For easy, just playing games right off Steam, opening the box, and one major plus on the Steam Deck, besides the screen, is the battery life. Double easy. Double easy. Double. I mean, Trails in the Sky, 6 hours. 6 hours. Trails in the Sky on the Ally, 3 to 4. Kakarot, like I said, 2 hours maybe. Maybe on a good day on the Ally. About 4 hours, 4.5 hours on the Steam Deck. So, battery, screen, out-of-the-box playability. Steam Deck is definitely a viable choice. And I got it for like right under $600. Ally, non-extreme edition. I don't have the extreme, so I'm reviewing the non-extreme. Pros. The screen is still really good. I want to make that clear. I love OLED, so it's just a little bit better to me. But the screen is still really good on this Ally. I'm actually really surprised. Another little thing I just want to point out, the sound is really good. It is loud. It sounds crisp. I'm very surprised on the sound. I also want to point out on the Ally, one major big plus for me is that it is very customizable because it has Windows OS. So if you're into modding, if you're into adding patches, if you're into customization, the Ally is way better than Linux. I don't care what anyone says. It is better. And last but not least, it's cheaper. Usually. Not now. So when it's $5.99, obviously it's a bit more. But it goes on sale on Best Buy like once a month for like a week or two. And you can get it for $3.99. You can get an open box for like $3.29. I don't buy open box electronics, but for $3.99, not only is this a great device to play some games, modern games, maybe not the best and the highest, but some modern games, but wonderful for older games, especially if you want to go back and hit that backlog of Japanese RPGs like me. On top of that, streaming, flawless, flawless. I can play Xbox off of this. I can play PlayStation 5. I can play Game Pass. I can play anything. PC, I can stream my PC to that. Beautiful. Moonlight, Sunlight. You could do fucking Steam remote. Any of that works. So here's my thing. If you want easy out of the box, going to play mostly Steam, you could customize it if you learn about Linux more. Then sure. The Steam Deck is a wonderful device. It's a little bit more usually. Not always, because right now the Ally's regular price is more. But it's a great device for that. If you're just going to play Steam games, I think it's great for that. Unless you really want to start reading tutorials on download stuff. But overall, I think it's great for that. If you want to be more customizable and you want to enjoy Windows OS, which I favor much over Linux, then I think the Ally is great. And you could get this about $150, almost $200 cheaper than the Steam Deck. And that's a factor if people, worry about money. So, I don't think you can really go wrong with either. The point of this video, besides reviewing them, is that I want to say that these devices really have changed my perspective on gaming again. Made it fun, made it exciting, made me want to play games after work. Made me want to play games on break. Maybe want to play games in the morning before work. Maybe want to play games when my daughter's playing her games. There's things out there like the Switch that I think are viable. But Switch games have never really been my thing that much. I'm much more into these type of games, and I am a little bit of an achievement trophy whore, and Steam has achievements, so there we go. But I think this is a great device for people who want to dabble in the PC world. I think this is one of the ways you can get into it if you don't want to buy a whole PC or build a PC. But I also think it's great for dads, moms, people who have limited time, who travel a lot. I think this is a great device. And like I said, the battery life is a contender. So Steam Deck is a better one. But Ally isn't horrible. If you're playing high-end games, maybe. But not so much if you're playing Other games you can get easy 2 hours out of most games, and then just plug it in, and it only takes like 30 minutes to charge. So yeah, that's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't normally do these, so sorry if I haven't gotten in depth like other videos about like specs and stats. You could go watch a million of those, but this is coming from a dad, 35 years old, trying to play games when he can on my free time, and these devices have been wonderful in that respect. And I don't think you really could go wrong with either, if I'm being honest. Just the things I told you, the pros, the cons. Think about that for you personally, how you would judge it, and then go pick one up. Again, this is not sponsored. I bought these on my own. I play them on my own. My wife has dabbled in them, and I think most people who have tried it now that they've seen me play, and they really think it's great. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. And any questions, leave below. I can try to answer. And have a wonderful day.